All right. Good afternoon, traders. Thanks for joining and taking your time to check out this week's trading webinar. So right off the bat, as always, quick test of audio and visual. If you can hear my voice and see this opening slide, go ahead and type a Y in the chat box for me. Thank you, Francis. Okay, I see him coming in. Very cool. And just be sure to make sure you use that chat box to ask any questions throughout the webinar, and we'll get to those throughout and primarily after the presentation. Now, most of you should be familiar with my voice by now, but for any first-time viewers, my name is Ty. I'm coming at you guys from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I handle the business development here at Shark Indicators. I've been involved in the trading industry for several years now, and we as a company have been involved in the NinjaTrader ecosystem since 2011. Now, before I pass it off, let's take a quick look at the risk disclosure. Take a minute and look this over, though I'm sure many of you are used to seeing it by now. And just to answer the question that I know is coming, this webinar is being recorded. So just look for an email from Ty at Shark Indicators, and I'll get it out to you guys by tomorrow morning at the latest. Now, a lot of you are familiar with Julie Wade and J Auto Trading Strategies. And for those of you who are not, I'll have Julie introduce herself here shortly. So give your attention to her. She's going to show you what you all came here to see today. So at this point, Julie, I'm going to promote you to presenter so you can introduce yourself to some of the Shark audience here, and then you can get right into it. Julie, we can.
Okay,
Oh,
thank
there we
you,
go.
Ty. Yeah, I appreciate it. Can you see the screen?
Yep, I see a screen and we can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. Hey guys, thanks for coming out, and thank you, Shark Indicators, for hosting today's event. Do appreciate it very much. I want to show you this 10-point Nasdaq strategy. It's actually trying to get more than 10 points. It's like 10 points times 2 exponentially, or a part of 10, 1.5, or 2, maybe extending it out to 3 if we can get a runner going. But show you a little bit about the base of the system and how I developed it and came about trading in general. um, I do like the Nasdaq market and sort of focused this first strategy on the Nasdaq because you can usually get 65 to 85 points every day out of that market, but you never know what in the heck is going to happen. Like today, that sudden announcement with the tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and the EU made a very favorable trading day for shorting those other equity indexes, but the markets kind of left the NASDAQ flat today. We were sitting in that chop, getting chopped up this morning, thanks to Michael. Appreciate it. Gave the heads up on that tariff announcement, and so we were able to adjust the markets being traded, put the strategy over onto the YM chart, and just enough time to catch some of that tail end of that first leg down. So you never know what you're going to be faced with on a day-to-day basis. So irrespective of what our strategy is geared for, we might have to be, you know, careful to adjust the markets that we're trading and get out of a market just because it isn't, it's flat and choppy, not moving, everything else is moving. So let's take a look at the agenda that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the platforms I'm trading, how I started trading these platforms and why I chose them as to form the basis of my technical trading strategies, and why I'm recommending them to you, and also using the data feeds that we're using. And I'm going to talk about this strategy's proof of concept overall. Um, is it any good as a raw strategy? Does it hold water, and how do we determine that? Is there a systematic method for discovering potential trading edges without being able to have a concrete data analysis or back test when your strategy is calculate on bar close equals false? The software is not able to go in the way I have this strategy is a scaling in strategy live in the market at a certain location. And the back test will give you one contract 15, 20 ticks away at the bar close. So you can sort of look at that as a proof of concept back test. If you get a good enough result on that, knowing that you're 15 or 20 ticks away from what the entry would have been, and it still works, then you know you're onto something. And so we're going to walk through that and just show you how to visualize the back test so that you can quickly understand what it is we're doing with this scaling system, splitting the risk in a range, entering at the middle, and why the markets always move back to that middle and that evolution of that fractal nature that the markets are moving in. You know, the weekly, the daily, the 60, the 15, you know, they all look basically the same. We're all trading those same moving averages on each of those time frames. If you've ever asked yourself, why is that? It's because the markets are fractal. They all move back to the same location on each time frame as they move up and down the cycles. Adding condition filters to a strategy. I like that linear regression a lot. The trending aspect to it is faster than the moving average. So I'm using my higher time frame trend, which is good across higher time frames, weekly, daily, 60, 15. I have my momentum on there. We'll talk about that. But when I add the linear regression to it across four time frames, it's really locked this in for me. And we'll show you what that looks like and explain it a little bit more. And then again, we'll look at the live charts, or I guess the market's closed. I walk that back. We'll look at some methods to test it, which would include live walk forward testing, so that you would use this in a simulated account. Anytime you get any new strategy, always sim trade it. And then you can also use market replay in NinjaTrader, which is great functionality. Also, we're going to also look at the NinjaTrader 8, which is really fantastic. That's now available, and BloodHound is moving to 8. Is in a private beta, and if you would like that to be able to review the beta version, send Shark Indicators an email, ask them if you can get added to that private beta list before it's released, and they'll talk to you about it. Uh, Ty is Shark Indicators is generous enough to give us a year subscription to stocks and commodities provided as a bonus gift today or during the special offer period through June 2nd with the purchase of the JATS package with either BloodHound or Blackbird. So that's very nice. Stick around to the end for more information about that. And I'll go through my disclaimers real quickly. As you know, this information is for educational purposes, and I'm not asking you to buy or sell anything. And trading does contain substantial risk. You should know that and use risk capital. Past performance is not indicative of future results. The markets change, they're ever dynamic. And the hypothetical performance disclaimer just means that these results that you might be seeing today were taken in a simulated account. So the market factors in a live trading account cannot ever be said to be an exact representation of what these results would be from a simulated account. And here we are to start the webinar. I am an ISV for Shark Indicators and the NinjaTrader ecosystem. And I am ever, like I said, grateful to be a part of this great ecosystem of vendors for the NinjaTrader platform. Let me go over here real quick. Hang on for me. This platform has won a ton of awards over the years. When they first came out, I was trading with Interactive Brokers. I had moved from my Fidelity account to Interactive Brokers because at Fidelity I was sort of limited to what instruments and markets you could trade. And so I went over to Interactive Brokers and was very happy with the additional markets and instruments, but I was very sad with the platform. The charting just was not um, at all what I had wanted to find. And so when I found NinjaTrader and Big Mike's and saw everything that they were offering and all the developers who were developing, strategies and indicators for it, I knew that this is exactly where I wanted to go. So I did change over to NinjaTrader and signed up for my programming classes with the NinjaScript and got through a class and at that time found BloodHound. So lucky for me that I found it when I did because I shifted gears and was able to start building strategies and my indicators, putting the things together much faster than spending a year on Python, which, if you're young enough and you have the time, do that. At my age, I just wanted to get right to the chase. So I'm very, very, very happy that I found um, the NinjaTrader platform and Bloodhound. It was a perfect combination for me, and I could not be happier. And especially about the NinjaTrader 8 enhancements that are coming up. We are going to be able to get a fully multi-threaded platform, which is going to provide significant performance increased performance across the platform. So we're going to have multiple workspaces up. I can put my strategies running on multiple markets for the first time that really Ninja 7 wasn't able to provide for us. And my understanding of it is wasn't Ninja 7 the platform, it was the way Microsoft's Windows um, worked with it. So between the two, it just didn't work out too well. You could really just have two strategies running at a time safely in a normal operating environment. Now, the strings are off and we're all going to be able to maximize everything that we've learned up until this point in time. And we are in the catbird seat, let me tell you, because now we have spent the time refining what it is we're doing, understanding why we're doing what we're doing, finding the best methodology for me in trading. And now I'm going to be using it on the best platform that there is available for active traders. So it, there are a ton of resources and indicators that are available to get you started in NinjaTrader 8. So definitely download it if you have not and try it out. Also, the market data is very important. Kinetic is our market data uh, preference, and for a good reason. It's very, very reliable. And also, data is available now, thanks to NinjaTrader for letting me know this, in India and Brazil. So we have capacity now to expand data centers outside the United States. So if you are looking at this webinar from India or Brazil, definitely consider using these data providers that can connect you to NinjaTrader. And shark indicators, how can I leave them out of this? Like I said, without shark indicators, Bloodhound product allowing us to go in and access the plots for those NinjaTrader indicators to build our trading templates, we really would be much further back and take way too much time just to build out one simple concept. This linear regression template, I literally banged it out in less than, an hour for the general framework, and it would have taken me, a day or a week to do that coding. So it's absolutely brilliant. If you have not downloaded it, you can ask them to send you a trial version, and you should test it out, because then you'll be able to start creating your own strategies with this tool. And what I'm hoping to do is get that user community growing and grow with you as you learn to use these products. Leverage the tools that you have, and we're all ahead of the game. Um, and when you think about what you're going to be doing with all these tools now that you've got, and indicators and strategies, it's like, what do you do with everything? You can get totally bogged down in information overkill and start putting like a million things on your charts and not understanding how things interact with one or another. And you can really lose sight of, the forest from all the trees that are in it, seeing the big picture from, adding way too much information. And I loved this book. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it. Jesse Livermore made a lot of money, but interestingly, I mean, a great story about leaving the family farm to go trade. And, but he really earned like two big trades at one time. And then he went back inside the market and lost it all, coughed it back up. So he caught a railroad stock and shorted it during an event and made his first fortune. And then he ended up trading this 1 million trade on the big crash of 1929, made $1 million shorting that crash in one day. But then he coughed it up. He, wasn't able to stick to his strategy, and you can so easily make a lot of money and then turn around and lose it right back. So what we have to do is come up with a strategy that will keep us sticking to the system. And I think it's so much easier to do that when you're relying on the software to place the trades for you, and you acting as the command pilot, telling the strategy when it is allowed to trade and when it's not allowed to trade. So you can control when you're in the market. And I think that works really well and has been working well. This is my cockpit and my command center, and I just love it. So I've sort of tricked this out, and it looks like a Christmas tree. It lights up all green or red um, when the market is moving directionally and in the direction that it's moving. Um, and if it's got zeros in it, that means that there's no trend or signal. So I've got the higher time frame trend on the right side, weekly, daily, 60, 15, and let me put the little pointer on if I can find it. I don't see the drawing tools here, but in the left side, you've got a higher time frame trend amalgamation of that stuff over there on the right. Um, a super trend indicator on a fast tick chart, and then you have the nexus, the really the central part of this component, the three momentum indicators that I rely on a 60-minute, 15-minute, and 3-minute chart. These momentum indicators, reflect the change in price, and they'll signal first before linear regression or the trend. And so you can watch this coming in and out, and then try to stay in the direction that the linear regression trend is, especially when it's matching the higher time frame trend. You have a market that you can trade. Come over here, find your average true range on your 1 day, 5 day, 14 day. See if you have any time left to trade or room left. Like I said, the Nasdaq is moving. Well, it was 50 points at that time that I took the screenshot, but usually 80 to 60 to 85 points a day. And so you've got plenty of room to get points once you break out of a level. So that's what we watch for, and we watch for this 3-minute momentum to match the 15 and 60, and with the linear regression, and get inside the market and try to get trades directionally up and down. um, I talked to y'all about, or very early, one of my first trading systems I put together was this direction guide system. And that's over here on the right side of my market analyzer. It's the first thing I really built out. And it's so fundamentally important when you get that higher time frame moving in the same direction on the weekly, daily, 60, 15-minute chart above the prior day high, the prior day or low, prior day high or low, and above or below that prior day close. And that's when you can get these directional moves intraday, especially with that current open also, and keeping in mind the economic report. So this in itself is an excellent trading system, and it's a good strategy I have on one of my indicators, the templates, the direction guides system, and it's I've kept it this whole time. It's a good system, and it's something that I adhere to, and would ask you to give that some consideration. You may want to pick that book up. So basically, if you would like to get right to the cliff notes, it's a higher time frame trend, momentum, and I've added linear regression because that is just fantastic. um, Momentum, if you're not familiar with it, a lot of people don't like the momentum indicator because it sort of looks like this and they don't know quite what to do with it. And I smooth it out and make it more look like an oscillator, so that you can get some value out of it. And we'll see that on my charts. But basically, it's just change in price. And you typically want to wait, for a time period, 20 bars, 5 bars, 20 bars, something like that, and get those levels. If you're moving higher, then the momentum is rising and you want to keep going with the momentum. Very, very simple. And I have incorporated this now with my linear regression. Give a girl a scatter plot and she's very, very happy if she's a statistician, right? So I'm not a statistician, but I still like them. The point of this is that line going from two data points, A to B, and the data is scattered across those lines. And when you can get to an outlier on the opposite side of the direction that you want to go, that's where you're supposed to be entering long instead of shorting. You're supposed to get back to the mean and keep going. So if we can keep this concept in mind, if we are trending and have a direction in mind that we're going to, um, we can put together our trading strategy as far as our entry system to get us there. Also, notice that this linear component on the linear regression chart here is sort of like your central playing field or trading field. And these data set points, as they get outside the range, starts growing symmetrically. That means that it's going to snap back to the mean at a certain distance when that range expands. So I have, really focused in on this on my HiLo2 template and have created a system of a 20-point system with the Nasdaq that when this uh, bar change with a larger moving average separates from the open of the bar, that 20-point distance, that signifies your overbought, oversold area, and it could indicate that the bar is going to be turning around and coming back to that average. And so here's that signal, and sure enough, the bar turned around. And that's pretty much in my strategy. Here is the linear regression template. I've got an envelope for you showing different levels, and I've got a new indicator now that I'm very happy with, that shows me that I want to be trading in a long direction as the base of the system is long. And so I won't necessarily want to short anything in a long setup. I want to wait for the bar to turn around and give me an anchor point to go back long once that condition occurs. So sit out of the market between 7 a.m. and oops, 9 a.m. and then wait for that market to turn around and then start engaging the markets and taking pullbacks at that time. So it makes it very, very helpful for me to visualize this. You know, do not take the trade here because I was in a red linear regression 15. Wait for it, even though it would have worked out, it may not have. It may have turned around at that point. But just waiting for these conditions to come into your favor will give you a edge on short-term trading in the markets, and especially when you're trading multiple contracts. You don't have to trade each one of these levels. There are 5 levels on the template that you can trade across, 5 or 6. You don't have to trade all of them. You can wait and just trade 1 or 2 and build your account up, and that's really what I would recommend. And especially sim trade it at first and make sure you get a proof of concept. The other element of this strategy, that is for the pullbacks into these bands. The other element of this strategy is to take a 1 bar at the time each bar closes in the direction that you're wanting to trade in, and trade that with a one-on-one OCO order. And that really should be your first entry. So you're going to need 2 charts set up to trade this system, your one-on-one OCO, and then take the pullbacks to supplement that one-on-one and add to it. And I'll show the members when they come into the trade room how to set this up to scale these orders. And it is a scalable pullback system strategy, and add to the system as it is growing in your direction and hopefully in your favor with the trade. Here is a oops larger screenshot of the system, and you can see it pulling back into these bands. Here is the 3-minute linear regression on the chart. Here, or at the bottom, I'm sorry, 3-minute linear regression, and here's the 1 period linear regression. I have 2 different linear regressions showing here on this chart. So you can put multiple bands on here, and Daniel Rowe was kind enough to allow us to use his Fibonacci indicator also, which we can use as a band if you sign up on his website as a free member for his download. Talk to his support staff about that, and they'll get you that free Fibonacci indicator if you tell them that you'd like to put it on the JATS HiLo2 chart. And that's another band that you can use for determining if you're in a trending condition or not, according to Fibonacci. So various different ways to get this. But this system, with adding my linear regression indicator to the chart, has just been another addition that's really been helpful for me. I think we were in the trade room this the other day. What day was this taken on? May 30th? Yes, yesterday. And we were trying to get this to leave the band, and got that first green, all 4 green going up, and then it failed and came back down. Just did not have the oomph to get through these yesterday lows in the close. So going into resistance is very hard, even with linear regression on your side, and that failed and rolled over. So it had to wait for the linear regression to catch up to it, and that afternoon was the time to get that up and over those levels. And we'll be taking a look at the charts in just a few seconds. This is the MACT template. This is the market analyzer chart template. And I have these different components on a chart now, if you would like to put them on a 15-minute chart. And this can really show you the range expanding outside of an area. And is what I recommend that you always, always, always pay attention to. So when your Keltner channel, your price is moving on a 15-minute chart outside of a Keltner band, especially if it's breaking like a prior day high. Here we had a couple of prior day highs right here, breaking through and moving up and out of an area that is just like the nirvana perfect trade you would want to see. I mean, if you would ever want to visualize, what is it am I looking for in the market? That's it. And this is on my MACT template. It's my range solver. And that will automatically set up for you. This is the HiLo2 template. This is one of my other first templates that's usually used for trend trading. This is not a good template to trade if it's ranging. You want to wait until you get higher highs and higher lows, and then put your bar on a large enough size that you can capture the reversals when it comes back to those averages. And you see how nicely this one never even got back into the mid band. It was a very strong trend, and that was another good outside the band trend, just almost vertical, going all the way up. So these opportunities do occur, and when we see them, we need to be aware of what they look like, um, how to trade them, various methods, and then especially using the HiLo2 system with the scaling. Here is a little booklet that you can read about putting together a trade plan, the importance of having one. I highly recommend it if you've not really understood, well, what does one look like? How would I put one together? Go over to the CME group, look for their booklet, Building Your Trading Plan. And this one is very, very good. And he got me using those Keltner channels. I'm so glad I found this. And I have kept the Keltner channels on my chart the whole time. I even sent Jeff a little LinkedIn message once that said, thank you for that little booklet. I still have those on my chart, and they're every day, they're on my chart. So we'll come back to our offer. I will have a price reduction on BloodHound and BlackBird with the purchase of the template package today, which does include the trade room. So we'll talk about how you can use BloodHound and BlackBird, and if you have any questions in doing that. And I think that that is something that is a very much of a value add to the templates that you'll be getting for your Bloodhound library. So you get the trade room support, get to know some of the other members who have been in the room for a while, and learn the markets and trade. So this is the let's first start look. Let's take a quick look at Ninja 8 real quick, because that's the new platform that just came out. It's still in beta, and I do have the HiLo2 coded to it. This was in queue today. Oh, this is the YM, okay. And here was that down leg when they first made the announcement of the tariffs. And then, of course, the market turned around a little bit and then came back down, went back up and down. And I do like very much 8. I cannot wait. It's in beta. It's not quite there yet for my dark skin. You can't really see anything yet, but I'm sure that coloring will get fixed up so that you can read what it is that you're trying to access. So this is nowhere near ready yet. But very close. I just cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to 8. I keep saying it every single day. I'm so grateful to be a part of this. It's just the most fabulous platform, and it's only going to get better and better and better. Here is the linear regression live market, or I guess the markets have closed today until the close. And I've got these set up for RTH sessions if you just want to see what the RTH session had for a good setup. You can see today was down, but it just didn't really go anywhere today. Tried to punch out, but it failed again. Came back down. You can, look at this across multiple markets, the 6E, the ES. Put this on the 6E real quick. Take a look at the FX. You can see that I've got it set up to take advantage of these RTH movements. If you just wanted to trade, where is the oomph? I didn't have the oomph there, kind of oomphed out. And or you can use what we do is the all setting outside the RTH, or the 4 gives you the closest representation of what price is actually doing on a linear regression, or the 1 will give you that directional movement that you're looking for. And this is linear regression trend. So when you put it together with the linear regression indicator and what you're seeing on the chart, hopefully that will help you identify these time periods. And what I like to see is it leaving my channel and then staying at, or touching it at least, but once it comes in, you can get out of the market. I'm just showing you the 6E because as an example, because the NQ was so flat today, which is so unusual. It moves so well, and look how flat it was. It didn't go anywhere today. Bad day for me to to show you an NQ strategy. But here is the Blackbird is not on the chart anymore. Let me change the template. And I will give you a quick overview of this strategy. Again, keeping in mind that we want to trade when the opportunities are there, and the opportunities were to trade the YM today, not the NQ. But with that in mind, if you did want to take a trade, you would have wanted to wait either this morning and trade short, or this afternoon and trade short, and then take these trades. As you can see here, we got a little bit of a linear regression confirmation. So the 1s and 2s look like they were the ones that got most of the move after it started. Here was the start of the move. Here is that overbought, oversold indication telling you that it might flip over, and it sure did. And otherwise, you would have known to trade this part long. And here's your shorts. And again, you can actually do pretty good on this system just trading a one-on-one. Let me pull up that performance report for you. This is one bar. Changeover on bar close equals true. So it's a bona fide back test of this. We are not using the offset. The offset's set to 1, so the offset doesn't have any impact of when that bar closes to the next open. So what I like about this platform is you can see when the strategy works. You want to make sure that it's moving, up. And then you can come in here and look at your distribution by the hour, day of the week. We got killed on this Friday, but we got killed on today also with this strategy after the market today. But this is that one-on-one bar close, and it's on just trading both sides with my OCO order. So once you get an indication that you've got an okay strategy, you can then augment this and hopefully add to it. And then adding to it would be coming in and taking your pullbacks, and you're splitting the risk. So you're trading 10 points. Let me set this up for a 10 point exactly so we can see it. And so if you enter on one of these bands, then you can just take your profit at the other OCO. If you enter two, you may want to take one off at the new bar, the first bar close, and then let the runner get the rest of the points. But as you can see, they usually make it back to the next bar, unless, of course, it rolls over. Then you're going to get that stop out. But sometimes you won't even get the stop out. It will come back. You'll sit through the rollover. Don't close your position because it might still be a winner. It's just going to take a little bit longer. And what I like about the strategy analyzer, this is the back test that could be considered garbage because it's COBC false. And so you're not getting a true representation. The trades taken are actually taken at the executions are taken at the close, not at the level. So the execution on this example are taken here at the bar close. It's not taken where it actually entered. So I'm saying that the strategy is going to be better if we were to hand walk through every one of these trades on here and mark them out. We'd have a higher net profit than is showing because we're splitting our risk. So each winner would have been better, or a winner, and we may not have had all of those losers that came in because it was on the bar close. We would have to hand walk it out. But just get your drawing object, make a rectangle, 10 points, put it on your line, and walk it down a band and look to see where you want to trail a stop or put your risk, and just visualize the opportunities that we can get with this scalable entry system. And the BloodHound template I set up allows it to scale in one at a time. As it hits the level, it crosses above it and then crosses below it, and will enter one contract. When it gets to the next level, it will enter the second contract. When it gets to the third level, it would enter the third contract. So you're carrying three by the time you open a new bar. And if it comes back, you're not going to add new orders if those orders are still open. You would either have to hit your profit target before coming up and triggering a new trade, or a stop out. So say that the price came up and stopped your 10 point out, but then turned right back around and came back in the direction and made, continued its direction, the platform will allow you to re-enter on that same bar, so you get back in and make up that loss. So it really is a good system. The problem that I get into is when I'm running 4 or 5 contracts at one time in an overextended area, and it backing up on me and wiping out all my profits that I had just gotten. So that's why I put in here a template to be able to not take anything in that overbought, oversold area. Let me back this up so you can see that very clearly. There we go. See, that's the overbought, oversold area, and my template stops trading and won't go in there. And that's been helpful. This has a much higher winning percentage because you're not entering on this overbought, oversold area. If you do want to trade it, say like if you're looking for those hot moves, if you know it's like the RSI over 80, if the market is moving very fast, some people really want to trade that time, so they look for these opportunities. And so I've given you an option to just trade that time frame. If you just want to trade the three, see how it sits out of the chop? Very smart of me. If you just want to trade the 3-minute linear regression, I have it set up for a couple of different ways to trade the 3-minute linear regression. And also, if you just want to enter at a specific bar before the other ones trigger, so say you want to make sure it requires that the third trigger gets hit first before you enter and get the other ones, I can do that. I can let you scale in, make it hit that first one first before going into the other direction. So making it wait and not triggering at the first two, but making it wait for the third one, or I can do it at the fourth one. I could do it at the fifth one if you wanted, but usually that middle one is a good one to take with this linear regression. I've tested this one and it had a really good back test. But again, taking into consideration that this is COBC false, it's kind of like garbage. I shouldn't have even shown it to you, but my analysis of it is I'm entering here live, but the back test is showing that I entered there. So I'm like, look at all that profit that it made and it still won the trade, so I'm sort of like, I'm not behind the 8 ball on that. I'm ahead of the 8 ball on that back test. It can't be any worse. It can only be better. It's the way I look at it. But you would have to sit there and hand calculate these out otherwise, because you can't get software to calculate what I'm doing on scaling in a live trading environment, unfortunately. But I can customize this if you would like to put any other filters on it or do anything else. Um, I can work with you to do that. I will be glad to. And with that, let me take you back to the website and just go over the promotion that I'm having at this time with Shark Indicators for this special offer. So you have not seen all the templates that I have. I have a complete package of indicators, the direction guide, BloodHound and chart templates, the HiLo1, which you saw that I have in BloodHound 8 and 7, HiLo2, BlackBird, and chart templates, Bollinger Band, BloodHound and chart templates, linear regression, trim bands, that's the BloodHound and chart template, the market analyzer, BloodHound templates for the market analyzer, the MACT BloodHound chart templates, custom bar types, indicators that go with it, and the trade room for $1,000 today. The price is increasing effective Monday. I think that's Monday. Yep. So if you were thinking about adding these templates to your library, you might want to do so before Monday. And with that, I can give you these special discount prices bundled with Bloodhound. If you're new to Bloodhound or Blackbird, we're having a sales price, knock some of that price off of it for you. And then also to make this better, the Shark Indicator is going to throw in that annual subscription to Stocks and Commodities, which is very nice of them to do. So basically, you're looking at $16.45 for the Bloodhound Ultimate and the JATS templates, and Blackbird $23.45. You get the best deal if you get Blackbird Bloodhound together with the template package. And as always, at this time, the template package on its own is $1,000. Please note that there are no returns, all sales final on the template package, as is where is, subject to EULA terms and conditions and disclosures on the website. So be sure to come up here and look at those. And if you purchase it, just shoot me an email. You'll need to register it per these instructions and schedule a time for the installation. It takes about an hour for the installation, and then you'll be up and running. And again, you're invited into the trade room that we have every day that the market is open, unless I'm on vacation or something. And we'll look forward to having you join our community as we grow and trade these great tools that we've put together. So I think it's a very, very good entry system and something that's easily understood and explainable, especially trading pullbacks in a trending condition. Again, you don't want to trade the system in a flat market condition. You'll just get those up and down, sideways, choppy conditions. So we learned to identify this using the market analyzer and that linear regression band, and can wait, learn to apply that discipline, sit on our hands whenever possible, and before pulling the trigger on these trades, and or having Michael in the trade room who's watching the news and pointed out that tariff announcement this morning. Thank you again, Michael. That is something else, but that's something that the market I think expected, and they call it something else when the benefit goes to the other country that they're used to getting. So I think it's time that what goes around comes around. We would get some of that captured back for our country. I see the questions. I don't really see anybody. Ty, am I missing any questions? Maybe I'm looking at the wrong monitor.
Yeah, I got a question here. It says, are the templates ready to trade?
They are. They are.
All right.
They are, and ready to come in the trade room and have us show you how to use them.
Fantastic. Someone here is asking, can you specify on the date when the offer ends?
Well, Friday is the open house. I might have the installs on Saturday the 2nd, so it's running through the 2nd to catch the installations. Um, so if you decide Saturday, or don't get, I don't know when Ty's going to get the recording up. Sometimes it doesn't hit until late Friday or Saturday. You may not get home from work in time to look at it, and they might want to purchase it. So that's a good question. So you would have through Saturday the 2nd to make that order go through, and then will get you those sale prices. So the second,
Okay,
correct.
so the second.
Yep.
All right, sounds
So
good.
I did pretty good on time there, almost to the minute.
Yeah, you're doing great. We've got a couple more questions coming in.
Okay.
So Christian's asking, can the payments be split into smaller bits? Do you take two payments, three payments?
I don't, but I think you can work something out with PayPal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
think that would be available through PayPal if you contact PayPal. I think they do have a payment plan. You might want to check with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Adam is saying that he does own Bloodhound, but not Blackbird. And will your templates work okay with just Bloodhound?
They do.
All right.
They do. You can use the Raven strategy to trade these one bar at a time, and that may be a good way to do it. Sim trade it in because the HiLo1 and the other templates, of course, you can use in Raven to take trades. So here's the HiLo1 on the NQ. So you can take, if you want to trade short, set it up, take some of these one on one, as the trade sets up in your account in Raven, and even you can trade this in Raven by trading one band at a time. So you could trade trigger 3 or trigger 2 using that 10 point and test it out on
Mm-hmm.
one contract or one band at a time. And I even have that little bit of a algo in here for you that's already set up that's capturing that 3-minute linear regression. So you can test it. I've already got something for you if you want to test using the all 20 lower 20, and the 20 again is that ratio between that last average to the open. So keeping that below 20 is generally pretty much where you want to be in that sweet spot of being able to catch price moving down or directionally. Just when it gets over 20, it tends to start flipping up, going back to that mean. And that's just on the NASDAQ. This is why it's called the NASDAQ 10-point system. So you could even trade that 20 um, or one of these other algos that I have into it in Raven. So on one bar. So you could trade um, you would only take one bar at a time. So whatever triggered in, you would get triggered in on this algo. Or you could just select the bar up here if you want to say, I just want to do T2s, or if I just want to do T3s. hmm
Very
And
cool.
Raven can do that. Yep.
Right.
Or you can do the one bar up or down. And like I said, that's got a positive back test, and that's on bar close true. So, I mean, we would, you can have a forward looking expectation for just trading the bar changes in Raven. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep. hmm
So John and Diana are both asking, will the upgrades for NT8 versions come at no extra cost?
That's correct. When we convert to NT8, these templates will be provided, and we'll be so grateful. We are looking forward to it so much. And then getting that trade room going with multiple markets. Because what happens, we've noticed in the trade room, these markets are really correlating, guys. So the indexes are all bunched together. So you've got the Russell, the YM, the NASDAQ, and the ES pretty much moving directionally all at the same time when the markets are moving. And so you want to be able to split this out on a couple of different markets. So usually three of the four will be going directionally for sure. There's always like one oddball. And so you can use the platform to just enable those three markets in your strategy template in Ninja 8 and deploy them much easier and spread across and able to take the trades on multiple markets that we can participate um, and to deploy the strategy, much better. So yes, we're looking forward to NinjaTrader 8 and getting these strategies transferred over to it. Yes, yes, yes. Did I
Definitely.
say how excited I was? We can't wait. We can't wait.
So, speaking of the trade room, Matthew is asking, how do they attend the open house tomorrow? Do you just want them to contact you at your support
Se-
email?
Send us that email at support@JAuto Trading Strategies. Come in for our open house tomorrow and see them run in a live market condition. And yep, and we'll go over more with you, I guess, in detail. I guess I covered everything pretty good.
Hmm.
It's just basically an entry system, scalable, and Blackbird is fantastic platform for this. I can't say how brilliant enough that these guys at Shark Indicators are for putting this great product together and supporting it. It's just amazing. So you've got ability to manage the time that you're trading, so you can limit it. It's like you go back into your back test and you see that I want to trade around the open and close. Let's see, oops. I want to trade at 8:30 for sure, from 8:30 to 9, and then I want to trade at 14:30. That's 2:30 to 3, and then maybe 10:30 to 11. And I want to try just trading those three time frames. Takes like a nanosecond to set that up in Blackbird. So you're just trading that time frame, so you already know in advance what looks like a better time period for the strategy to make the most. Definitely, you do not want to be trading lunch. I mean, we all knew that anyway. There's a reason for that. And so, yeah, just use the software to set it up. Make sure you have a forward line in your strategy and back test before you trade in a live account. And yep, come join us. And as we all have hopefully a lot of success as we go, and trade these markets using Shark Indicators, BloodHound, and Blackbird or Raven, and definitely the NinjaTrader platform. For without NinjaTrader, we none of us would be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you, NinjaTrader. It's just fantastic.
Hmm.
And again, check out Aid. It's got a ton. You've got a ton of trading and education. You've got indicators galore, both at Shark Indicators. When you buy Bloodhound, don't think that you're just you're stuck to learning your own um, strategies. There's a ton of strategies available already that Bloodhound gives you. They have weekly training rooms, uh, workshops. You're not left on your own at all. You've got like 10 years worth of Bloodhound or YouTube videos, not 10 years, but maybe 3 years, 4 years worth of YouTube videos to go through. Ton of stuff, and you've got ton of templates that you can try so you can get the hang of it. And again, it just comes down to reducing the noise, trying to figure out how to filter the noise out and when to find when the best time to trade is. Unfortunately, it was not in the Nasdaq today. Usually the Nasdaq moves a lot. I keep saying this, I sound like a broken record. I apologize, the market just did not cooperate with me, but the YM did. So you can see, visualize what that would look like on the trading template, and then learn how to come in. Oh, Shark, be sure, Ty, to let them know that this still on a dark skin. You can't see it, but yes, Bloodhound, just being able to cut through the noise using their templates makes it so much easier. And then just turning. the software on, because the software will wait for that bar turn. You give it the amount of risk, you know where your risk is. You know where, get an arrow, you want to keep your risk out here, and then try to participate in capturing that as it moves down. You've got to allow it room to move. And the momentum is wonderful. I'll be going over that with you. Anytime you see this divergence, a higher high, but a lower high in momentum right there, and you're going in a downturn, that's the short. Where's my reversal short? This is the one you really want, but it's still underneath your risk. So just using the tools to enter for you puts you ahead of the game tremendously. So it's just, leverage. It's, giving the power to the retail traders. We're able to come into the markets, and we've leveraged the technology, the software, so we can use it. And it's great. It's wonderful. And so I've spent a lot of time over the last 3 years looking at a lot of indicators and a lot of strategies and tried to pull out the best parts that made sense for me. This linear regression, for instance, is just fantastic. I can see that my envelope here is all red. It's basically drawing what we're seeing down here in the envelope, but I know that I would not want to take these trades really because I'm in a down envelope. I actually did try to take a couple of these earlier, but that was there it was there. I was trying to take that one, and I knew better not to do that, especially trading into support resistance. But wait till your indicators turn around, give you that directional movement, and then grab your trade, either using HiLo1 or HiLo2 or another entry system, or just do the mosh pit trading. And that's what I like about the HiLo1. I call it the mosh pit. Just just like dive in. This template will get you in on the next tick. So if you decide you missed a turn, it's like, don't panic. There'll be another turn. But if you decide, oh my God, it's taking off again and I missed the turn, put it on the high-low short and jump in, swim to your level. And I guess that's it, Ty.
Yeah, Julie, I got one final question for you from John, and that is, are your templates able to be installed on 2 computers or just one?
Well, you can install it on two. I'll give you a backup. So you're supposed to be trading on one, and then you can have use it as a backup. You can't trade on two um, trading computers at the same time with NinjaTrader's license anyway. So say if you have a VPN, you want to put one in the cloud and backtest and stuff, these algos and strategies before trading an algo in the cloud, and you've got your trading set up in your laptop or your computer at home, you can only use one at a time anyway on a live license. So just so that you understand that you can't like trade your algo and trade at home at the same time in the cloud. So yes, the answer is I can give you a backup license, but you can only use one at a time with NinjaTrader's license.
Got it. All right, Julie. Well, that seems to be the extent of the questions. So,
Awesome. Thank you again, Ty.
of course, yes. Thank you for presenting today. The templates look great.
I love them. I mean, this software is just fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you for that.
appreciate it. So,
Okay.
any other questions you want to be sent to support@jautotradingstrategies.com, correct?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Yes.
So, guys, yeah, any questions for Julie that didn't get answered today? Support@jautotradingstrategies.com. And any questions specifically for us, as always, support@sharkindicators.com. If you tuned in late, I'll send the recording link via email by tomorrow, noon Eastern time at the latest. So just look for an email from Ty at Shark Indicators. And thank you again, Julie, and thank you, traders. We'll see you guys soon.